This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good morning, gentlemen. Man in Black for a Friday. Good Friday to you.
That was a good sign.
We can say that every Friday.
Oh, wow. We're in a good mood today. Welcome to DBL. For the first time in history, the child of a sitting president is facing criminal charges. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted on federal gun charges for allegedly making false statements and illegally possessing a handgun. So TMZ has these photos, you can see him right here, of Hunter grabbing some food in Malibu with his 3-year-old son, Bo, the day before he was charged. Now, if you recall, there was a plea deal related to this, as well as tax charges that fell apart in July. And now the special prosecutor has brought these new charges. The White House declined to comment. For more on this, we're joined by veteran trial attorney and very serious man, Mark Eiglarsh. Good to see you, Mark.
It's so great to be here, and yes, I'm very serious.
Mark, you look like a million billion. How are you, bro?
That's not even a number out.
Wonderful. I'm choosing to just be fabulous today.
Thank you. And so my Tory clearly has an attitude, so let's just get to this. I have to ask just generally, what did you think when you heard the news yesterday?
I was like, Hunter, be careful what you wish for, baby. He tried to convince prosecutors, look, I didn't pay my taxes on time, not because it was willful, because I was high, man. I had a disease. And then they said, all right, you know what? Reluctantly, we will accept that explanation. And then they did some hunting around, and they said, but didn't you possess a gun? Ooh. Didn't you apply to get a gun during that time period? You can't be high. You can't be doing drugs when you're getting a gun like that. So they brought federal charges.
Wow, that was a great picture we showed in the beginning of him with his family. Very family-oriented man. So could this actually go to trial,
I want
Mark?
to know, Jeff. Wait, Jeff. I want to know what you think. I want to know what your panelists think. Forget about what I think. What do you think about this?
You know what? To be honest, here's what I think, to just be plain. I think it's both sides throwing stones at each other. I think they can't get anything else on Hunter Biden, so this is the thing that they could get to stick for him, and it's not much. Possessing a gun while you're on drugs, I mean, how many Americans out there do the very same thing? So that's what I think. I think it's one side throwing something at the other. And I mean, Jeff, my opinion doesn't really matter.
Jeff took the words out of my mouth. I was like, if they enforce this law, like, come on.
How many times have they not enforced it?
It would be everyone. It would be everyone.
Well, the challenge is ever having enough evidence to prove that somebody really was on drugs. Hunter gave that to him on a silver platter because he argued it in his first case. That's the difference.
I do think there's evidence here for Hunter to be, I do think there's a real case here. I don't think if it goes all the way to the presidency, but I think Hunter overstepped a lot and he put his foot in his mouth.
But let's just charge him then. Let's not be like, hey, he's in Malibu with his family at a festival. And, you know, there's some pictures out there. Show some pictures of him.
That's fair.
Like, if he's guilty, let's make him guilty. Let's not sweeten it up because one side is more popular than the other.
There's some pictures out there.
There's some pictures.
He has not been.
That's all I'm saying. We're kind of painting it with a kind of sweetheart brush.
That's a fair
But could
point.
this actually go to trial? And do you think we may see him behind bars at any point?
Okay, so it can go to trial, but 98% of federal criminal cases do not. They resolve themselves via plea bargain. Could he say, no, I want my day in court? It's theoretically possible. I don't think it's going to happen. He'll work out a plea deal.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think his lawyer already said that's not going to trial. All right, let me ask you this. It's a hypothetical. If Hunter Biden's name here were just Joe Smith, am I right? And again, apologies to any Joe Smith out there.
Probably a lot of them.
There might be a lot. Would we be having this conversation right now, or is it because his last name is Biden?
I hope we would be having this conversation. It was Jeff, actually, who once told me that it was either Aristotle or Socrates that said that crack and guns don't mix. So I would like to think that if the federal government has that evidence on a silver platter, they'd go after anyone.
Fair.
Yeah, well, Jeff also has that tattooed on him.
Yeah, right at the back of his lower back.
Ironically, I was hanging out with Hunter Biden that night.
You were? It was a crazy night.
Mark, I got to ask you, is there a chance that we could see another plea deal?
Oh, yeah, we will. We will see another plea deal. The federal judge rejected the first one. They are lifetime appointees. They don't have to run for office. So whatever they say goes. And they said, no, I reject the first plea. The second time around, I think that you're going to see probably him stay in the diversion program to get the charges dropped for the tax case, and then he'll take a plea on the gun charge.
So do you think we'll see more charges coming? You just mentioned that tax case. Do you think that'll be next?
Well, the tax case is already. He's got the first case he's got, and then he's got this. Will there be more charges? I don't know. Ask investigators.
That's a good point. All right, let me ask you this. Following all the Trump indictments, some Republicans complained about this two-tiered justice system. And a lot of you who watch our show talk about that. One for Democrats, another for Republicans. Now that we're actually indicting and charging Hunter Biden, do you think this proves that wrong? And my follow-up is, will Joe Biden, let's say he gets charged, can he pardon him?
Usually a follow-up is after someone answers.
You know what? You're following up in the wrong place.
You don't say, let me ask you this when you're on a talk show.
Will Joe
only to
Biden
ask him questions.
will Joe Biden pardon his son?
Which raises the next question. Will we see more interruptions from Jeff in season 8? Okay, but
Hey, the answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, great.
You don't need an 8
we
ball
can't
for
wait.
that.
What a teaser. All right. So to answer your question, politics generically is alive and well in the criminal justice arena. So is racism, so is sexism, so is all the other isms. Only the prosecutor who brought charges knows whether this prosecutor brought the charges for some political reason or whether this prosecutor genuinely believes that any case that he has with these types of facts, with the elements that meet this crime, that they would bring the charges. Only they know. I do know that prosecutors have prosecutorial discretion. They don't have to bring every case. Now, maybe that was the reason why it was brought, but maybe not.
Right.
We don't know.
Okay. And yes or no, do you think he'll pardon him if he gets charged or convicted? Do you think Joe Biden?
I would hope not.
Me
That
too.
was such a gross abuse of power
Yeah.
that it's not justified.
I agree with that. I agree. Thank you so much. People are writing in. This guy's so funny.
He's awesome.
He's so funny. He's so cute. All right, Mark, thank you so
Yes,
much
you. You're an amazing
for joining us today to learn more. Keep it coming. Keep it coming about Mark. Or if you do have a legal question, check out his website, speaktomark.com, or just scan this QR code. It'll bring you right there. You can also pick up Mark's book, which I love, Be Happy by Choice, wherever books are sold. Mark, we love you.
Thanks,
you
buddy.
again. Appreciate
brother.
seeing
Thank
you.
you, guys. Love you.
Absolutely. Coming up on DBL, Dr. Coley will be joining us in studio to talk about the latest headlines. Should we be worried about our iPhones emitting too much radiation? Plus, our interview with Queer Eye's Bobby Burke. He's telling us all about the connection between mental wellness and the way you decorate your home. It was so informative. Stay tuned for that. Got it. Dr. Coley, am I saying it right? Phenylephrine. Thank you. You look beautiful. Let's talk about the sleeves.
Oh, Bert.
I just got off a plane.
I met Hudson yesterday.
I was wearing this
He's
on
so
the plane.
cute.
What
The
is
guard.
this is
I didn't even use
amazing.
his
Tell us
name.
where you just came from.
I came from Salt Lake City.
He is one of the nicest.
It was great.
Yeah.
I gave a lecture to
you
primary
were-
care doctors
yes, if
about
you're
a
going to
new
mix with
injection
people.
cholesterol medication
Yeah, but you-
that can reduce
Yes.
your risk of dying,
see-
having a heart attack, or a stroke.
I know.
What's with this new wave? Is
How
just
mu-
a
how
lot
much
of
do we
new
love
great
our
injections coming up.
He's awesome. And if you ever happen to come here,
Injections are
mention
really
the
coming
Denver
to
Nuggets
a
to him
new
and you
way
will be in a
that we are
conversation.
treating
He
patients
loves the
because
Denver
we don't do
Nuggets.
this
Yeah.
frequently.
Denver fans are crazy about that.
He goes like to every game
And it
and he
gets
dresses
quicker.
up and
They're
stuff.
this way now.
Yeah, he's really proud of it.
Oh, I love
Very
that.
exciting.
I
Now
always-
Tori needs some camera time.
I
Go
always-
for it, Tori.
Oh,
What are you guys talking about?
the Denver Nuggets. What do you think about their chances this
I'm
season?
a little bit worried about Wallace being
Who's
in,
the-
he's in the forward, the center four.
yeah.
And the other one who's playing guard at 5.
Who's their MVP, though? How do you think he's doing?
Scott Holden. He's got a problem with his ankle. I'm worried.
What country's he from?
Utah.
Scott Holden from Utah.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah. It wasn't factual, but it was pretty good.
Jeff and I went to a club.
I'm like, it's a little like tighter. Rock out. Welcome back. Have you ever gotten a cold and rushed to the store for decongestant? Well, you may be taking something that is only as effective as a sugar pill. So do these actually work at all? We've got our very own medical expert, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Coley, on the panel today.
You're only human.
Yeah, that's right. So this is so interesting because I've always thought about this. An FDA panel recently voted unanimously that the decongestant phenylephrine is totally ineffective. So it's the most popular decongestant. It's found in all of these on your screen and more. Why are they saying this doesn't work at all?
We've known this for some time as doctors. In fact, last year, the American Academy of Allergy signed a petition to get it off the market. And what ends up happening is the medicine is not ineffective. The medicine works, but when you take it in a pill form, your stomach breaks it down. So the amount that actually gets into your bloodstream is very little. The amount that actually gets to the nose to squeeze those blood vessels, it's the same as placebo or the sugar pill. And so it's the form of the medication that doesn't work. Now, the spray phenylephrine will still probably work, and many of the medicines that we just showed have other components in them. Benadryl, which is an antihistamine, other decongestants, those might still work, but this is huge.
Yeah.
Because if this gets pulled off the market, I mean, you're talking billions of dollars.
Well, that was going to be my question.
That was mine too.
Are they going to pull this off of the shelf?
They should. And so what happens next is now the FDA panel has to see if they're going to listen to basically the recommendation of this committee. And if the FDA decides to listen to this recommendation, they're going to pull it off the market. But starting today, I'm telling my friends and family members, check the label. If it says phenylephrine, that's not going to work to be a decongestant. Now, if it says other things on it, it may still work.
Because I had that really bad sinus congestion forever, really bad, and I was popping them forever. And I'm thinking, these do nothing, and I'm wasting all this. They're expensive,
It's really expensive. I just had to buy
$25 or something.
Right, like
yeah.
Claritin was like, at the grocery, it was like $32
Yeah,
or something for like the small box.
Well, so Claritin, has an antihistamine in it as well. So looking at the labels, which I know often we don't do because the front of the package looks so appealing.
Yeah.
And it says all these things, and you flip it over first thing and you look at the labels and see what's in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You got to tell Tori vodka doesn't work either.
Come on, it does.
She's like, I keep drinking and drinking. I got this
Sanitizer for the lungs.
But it makes me laugh that pharmaceutical companies it doesn't even work. They're making billions of dollars and it's still on the shelf.
Well, and they're pushing back.
It's just
The pharma lobby is actually pushing back against this panel's
they are.
recommendation.
Outrageous is this?
But if you guys have a cold, you should get something to decongest because obviously it makes you feel better.
What? What would you suggest then?
Yep. So you can use Afrin, which goes right into the nose. You can use
The spray, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The spray, but not for more than 3 days in a row.
Okay.
Because then it can actually cause the vessels to get too tight and cause the tissue to start to break down in your nose. You can use phenylephrine nasal sprays. You can use steroid nasal sprays. You can use nasal rinses. And if you're courageous, like I do, I always go behind the counter. So go to the pharmacist, show them your driver's license, and get pseudoephedrine, which they put behind the counter because in the early 2000s, people were buying a lot of it to start to cook meth, big Breaking Bad style.
Wow.
And so it's restricted.
Okay.
So they do track you if you're buying it, but that is a very effective decongestant.
I'd be too nervous.
I go like this, Joe sent me. Huh? They're like, just come on back. Take some time.
That was a terrible joke.
You're terrible. So this story is kind of scary. This is interesting. French regulators have banned the sale of iPhone 12, specifically the 12, saying it emits high levels of radiation. I want to know, should people who have this phone, we have some in the studio, should they be worried?
I have one. I'm old school,
really?
still have a 12.
I have an 11.
Yeah, the story caught my eye, but I'm not that worried for a couple of reasons. The first is that the way that they use the phone in the tests was not kind of normal ways that we use our phone. And then the second is that the level of radiation, even though it was higher than what we'd like, it doesn't seem to be the level at which we think it would cause harm.
Okay.
What does it do to your body then? Because I've heard that it doesn't. From Elon Musk, he said it doesn't, but now we're thinking it does?
Well, we don't know. And
Okay.
this is what I think is really important about this type of work is that it helps us raise the question. It's not like a CT scan. It's not like an X-ray. It's a different type of radiation. So we haven't actually established any health risks, but does it affect our memory? Does it affect our sleep? Does it affect our cancer risk? And are there things we could do to actually reduce our radiation exposure?
And I'm not trying to be funny here, but I mean, reproduction reasons, you keep it in your pocket, seriously.
Well, you know what, Jeff, the study found if it's in your pocket or in your hand, you actually get a higher dose of radiation.
Oh, really?
So put it in a purse or put it in a jacket farther away from you. If you're on speakerphone, you can actually lower your dose because you're not holding it up next to your head.
Okay.
If you're using those headsets, I have AirPods. AirPods give off radiation. So it has to be a headset with a wire because that's how you're connecting directly and not emitting those signals.
The newer phones don't have the wire, though.
Right. So Apple, I
The
wonder.
11 still does.
Right. Wow, what a burn. I wonder if Apple will look into this. That was a good burn.
They are looking.
They
into
are?
it.
Okay. I
Yeah,
hope
and
Apple
they're doing
investigates
software updates because
Okay.
part of it is searching for the satellite signal can also emit radiation. So they're changing the way that the phone works.
Okay,
as well.
wow. Because when I run, I put it in my sports bra. Just kidding, I don't run. All right, Dr. Coley, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. And be careful with that phone. DBL Nation, please follow Dr. Coley on X, Instagram, and Threads at PyleColeyMD. Thanks again. We'll be right back.
When you check your email, you may see lots of different offers or what we sometimes call junk mail. But this email caught the eye of one of our viewers. It claims to be from Kroger and says the grocery chain is looking for secret shoppers. All you have to do is fill out the application, and if you are chosen to be a secret shopper, you can get a $400 payday. So is Kroger actually sending out emails paying people to become secret shoppers? Let's verify. Our sources, Tom Bartholomew, president of the Charlotte Better Business Bureau, and the Federal Trade Commission. When we brought this question to Bartholomew, right away he told us,
definitely a scam.
He tells us the point behind the scam?
What happens after you apply is that they'll send you a check, and it's for you to go out and make these purchases at Kroger. Then they ask you to, well, okay, whatever's left, keep your $400. But then we need you to send the rest of it back to us.
Bartholomew says your bank will eventually process the check and determine it's fraudulent, and you will be out the money you sent back to the scammers. Plus, you'll be on the hook for whatever you spent at the store. The Federal Trade Commission is sending a warning to the public about this scam, and it's not just Kroger. Scammers will impersonate other big box stores, sending emails, texts, or letters offering secret shopping opportunities.
These look real. I mean, they've got the right logos, they've got the right information.
We reached out to Kroger for a statement, but they didn't get back to us in time. So we can verify, no, Kroger is not sending emails asking people to become secret shoppers. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. You might be judged for your crazy choice in wallpaper, but it's okay to love what you love. And earlier we spoke to interior designer Bobby Burke, who shared the ultimate guide to a happy, healthy living space for your mind. Take a look.
Please welcome back to the show author and Queer Eye designer Bobby Burke.
Hey, good to see everybody.
Bobby, I know I can tell you're like in a hotel room. Do you so desperately like want to wallpaper the walls and transform it?
Yes, this it's not a very inspiring room, to say the least. I'm on my book tour right now.
Let's get to your book that I had to snatch away from Erica right now because she was thumbing through it. Your book, Right at Home, How Good Design is Good for the Mind, teaches more than just design, Bobby. How has your mental health inspired your decor? Here you go, Erica.
You know what? Ever since I was a little kid, I was like 5 or 6 years old. My mom had my bedroom decorated in all red curtains, red bedspread, red pillows. And I just, something about it, I understood it did not make me feel good. It did not make me relax. This was not a space I wanted to sleep in. So I saved up all my little birthday checks from my aunts and uncles, and I got my mom to take me to a local store to buy a new bedspread and new curtains and pillows and this like dinosaur poster that I coordinated all the colors with, because I understood that I didn't know why. Blue just made me feel better.
Right.
And so understanding that your home and your space and the things that you surround yourself with really does affect your mental health is something that's been a part of my psyche since I was a little kid.
I remember too, I have the same thing. I once stayed at a hotel room and it was all brown and I was like, I gotta switch rooms. I am very uncomfortable. It can be really hard to trust your gut when renovating. I'm in analysis paralysis right now with my patio back in my backyard, and I'm just don't know what to do. So what are some ways to bring happiness into a space, and how do you trust that gut? When do you know?
Brown.
You know what? In the book, I talk about everybody can be a designer, and you really can, because at the end of the day, your space is about putting things in it that make you happy. And it's all about figuring out the things that make you happy. And I always tell everybody, I'm like, don't think about what your design aesthetic is. Think about what makes me happy. What's my favorite show? What's my dream vacation?
Okay.
Where's my favorite city? What's my favorite food? Think about those things and you'll get really great ideas to infuse into your decor. And it's going to be the space that really recharges you.
Because I think I'm trying to compare to everyone else instead of doing that. So I appreciate that.
No, don't compare to anybody.
Okay.
Don't compare to anybody.
Okay.
Don't take this the wrong way, but after doing that walkthrough, I'm like, after we go to Bobby's house, he can't come to mine. Like his house is so yes, or mine first, and then we level up. I want to ask you this now. You know, everybody's got their own personal style. So how can we take our personal style out of our closet and put it into our homes? Like I'm a big hip hop fan. There's hip hop all over my house. So I wonder, like, is that like what you're talking about, or something different?
Yeah. So, I mean, a great place to start is looking in your closet, because obviously you've, for the most part, probably picked every piece in your closet. So you know you like it. So your closet's actually a really great place to be inspired. If you go into your closet and you see that so many of your clothes are blue, or so many of your clothes have like desert tones in them, terracottas, or you see a lot of hip hop stuff in your clothes, you're like, oh, this should probably be where I should start decorating my home, because clearly this makes me happy in fashion. It's gonna make me happy in my home.
My anxiety level happens when things don't feel right in my home. Like there's a serenity that I have, and one of the biggest areas is always the bedroom, because my sleep is so important to me.
Same.
So what are a few bedroom design mantras that you swear by?
So sleep is so important, and obviously, and a lot of people that have issues with sleep don't realize that a lot of it could be how they're surrounding themselves in their space. You know, when, for example, keeping your nightstand clean of clutter. When you're going to bed and the last thing you're seeing is a bunch of clutter sitting right next to your head, that is not a nice zen place to start. Also, lighting. It's really important to dim your lighting in the evening. If you're laying in your room with bright lights reading for an hour before you go to bed, you're not preconditioning your mind to be like, oh, it's time for sleep. You've still got those bright lights, especially if they're a blue light, because a blue light actually energizes. Another thing is, if you have a problem sleeping, make sure that your bedroom is just for sleep. I mean, other things as well, but mainly sleep. You know, don't watch TV in it. Don't read books in it. Precondition your mind to know that when you are in that space, it is time for sleep, and really just making sure that you're making sleep a priority. You know, sometimes we think that we don't get to sleep if we don't earn it, if we haven't worked hard enough, and blah, blah, blah. No, you can't work hard as you want to if you're not getting the right amount of sleep. You can't be there for your family, and most importantly, you can't be there for yourself.
DBL Nation, Bobby's book, Right at Home, How Good Design is Good for the Mind, is available now. Bobby, thank you again. Congratulations.
Awesome. Yeah, very smart.
We'll be right back. Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, everybody.
Ballot security is a major issue among voters. Elections officials have recently taken steps to strengthen that security, but some of those steps have created confusion. Verify viewer Mark texted us to ask whether rumors that 0 voting machines will be certified by Election Day in 2024 are true. So, Mark, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, the Help America Vote Act, and the National Association of State Election Directors. Voting machines can be certified by a federal agency called the Election Assistance Commission. However, certification isn't required by federal law. States control the vast majority of election laws, even for presidential races. Many states require their voting machines to be certified by the EAC, but some don't. To be certified by the EAC, machines have to meet a set of standards called the Voluntary Voting System Guidelines and be approved by special testing labs. In recent years, the EAC has developed updated guidelines, primarily related to cybersecurity. That update appears to be the cause of the confusion. Starting November 15th of this year, all new voting machines have to meet the updated guidelines in order to get certified. But that doesn't mean machines approved under earlier guidelines are no longer certified. Any previously approved machines remain certified unless they are explicitly decertified. So we can verify, no, it's not true that 0 voting machines in the U.S. will be certified before the next presidential election. Every state, even those that don't require EAC certification, has a procedure of its own for certifying or approving voting machines. Some even require additional testing beyond what the EAC does. And all states, regardless of their laws, are required to follow a few baseline federal regulations established in 2002, which mostly deal with basic machine functionality. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Do it.
I think our show's a little different. We could say what we want and go deeper than other shows can.
Our chemistry is just so on.
Sometimes I'm a little mad at my co-host, Jeff.
My co-hosts have to trust that I'm gonna bring it and be 100% all the time.
There's zero filter with us. Whether you love us or hate us or you can't stop watching us.
DBL is on.
A new study shows there's a direct relation between how much you make and how happy you are. Let's connect the dots. A salary in the ballpark of $105,000 a year is enough to make the average person happy. That number is well above the median income for folks here in the U.S., which is about $70,000. It's important to note the number depends on where you live. But studies show it's not necessarily how much you make that determines how happy you are, but rather how you spend it. Researchers say people are usually a lot happier when they spend money on things like experiences and social connections instead of material goods. Of course, money isn't the only key to happiness. In fact, no matter how much money you make, scientists agree, what you use your money on is not as important as who you spend it with. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. We all know that body aches get worse as we age, but did you know there's a type of dance that could help ease the pain? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. Get this, ballet classes can actually help your aging body. This style of dance helps with balance and other mobility issues. So Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. So call 1-800-725-2612 or visit omegaxl.com for more information.
It's so weird that I'm all three of those. Athlete, celebrity, daily user. It's a lot of pressure to walk around with.
Which one are we laughing at most? Athlete or celebrity? That's so funny.
Can we just take a peek at what you got behind your computer there?
Rob, you want to come on over?
You have a coin purse like you're 104.
Yes, and a full deodorant, not even a travel one.
Deodorant, banana, a wallet, a ring, my phone.
What's up with the coin purse?
It's
Are
a
you playing
wallet.
mahjong after
Why
this?
is it
I'm going
out
my
on
bridge
the
club
show?
after. Everyone, we want to thank you so much for watching and make sure that you have a safe day.
And here's $5 for your birthday.
Have a good weekend.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.